Um, yeah, that was fast. Right. So
Yeah.
tell me, why did you sign up? How do you know me?
Yeah, I know you from Quora, like you are famous in them. Like I think I didn't remember the question, but you answered about your career change, and you asked in Microsoft about about your salary, how you wanted double it. Like you simply asked for it, right? You said that I heard Microsoft double their salary, so they just double the salary that you wanted to get. So is this true? Like that happened to you?
Yes, it is true. I am not sure if if it was Microsoft or some other company, and maybe it's a little jumbled up from the Quora answers, but something like that happened. Is there any other answer from Quora that you recall, that has made an impact on
Many
you?
actually. You explained how to get find a passion for myself. Like for one, like you found your passion that by researching. You used, I don't remember how you used to be, like you now you change your career to user researcher, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
user experience researcher. So that was actually, you didn't do it in a one stage, like uh on a multiple levels, that you practice yourself. You found you got many mentors. Like, I mean, I saw some I read some of your experiences, so how you found your passion for that. So I was
Yeah.
literally inspired by it. But for me, I think it's a different story. Mm.
Yeah, we will go into that, but I'm super glad that you remember a lot of this stuff that you have read, and probably they have made a significant impact, or maybe resonated a bit
Yeah.
with you, and that's why. So 4 years you have been following my answer.
Yes, exactly. And I started following on Instagram later, and how you like when you posted some pictures after when you vacations, and you come back from US, and how you started all these. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So Shravani, tell me, where are you located? Like,
I'm from
are you?
Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you like working from home these days? Is
No.
your off? Hmm.
Yeah, my office started in last year, I think March. So we are going to office every day. We started as a hybrid model, like 3 days a week, but now we are completely going like 5 days a week.
Awesome. So
Uh,
your office is in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. I live
Okay.
with my parents.
Nice. That's wonderful. I mean, that's a good support, like during all the times you couldn't go out
Yeah, yeah,
and
it is. It is.
awesome. Yeah, so maybe we can begin by, what brings you to me today. And feel
Mm.
free to talk, in a language you feel comfortable. I mean, I don't know a lot of languages, but English and
I
Hindi
mean,
is
I'm comfortable in English because I don't know much of Hindi, and I know I'm not great at communication skills, so I'll just speak what I know. I hope
yeah,
you'll able to understand.
yeah, that is a challenge we all face. But yeah, let's maybe, give me a background and yeah, just tell me your story, whatever you want to say.
So, I'm 2000 engineering BTech graduate. So I completed my graduate 2014. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been like more than, I mean, 8 years, 9 years, coming to 2020. So it's a hell lot of a journey. I started working with a startup. I'm in a startup company. That was actually one of my friends' company. So they want someone fresher so that they don't have to pay much. So I joined there, and I started working as a tester, like to test the product that they were developing. And it was quite fun for 1 year, but later I realized that I wanted to build something for myself. And there is a friend that I know, he wanted to build the same thing, so I catch up with him, and we started building that one product. And it was after like 4 or 5 months, we got, like, for some personal reasons I was left from that place. And I wanted to do something like real. I wanted to find my thing. I have too many interests in one place. Like completely, I'm from computer science background, completely into tech, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to coding at the same time. I don't know how to code. and I like designing stuff. And when we start building a product, so the first phase is like build the design, right? The designing phase. I like that phase a lot because if I have an idea, if I know what we want exactly, I think I can make it work. Like how I can make it into picture, how it will be in the real world, like white framing and designing and all. But for that, I started learning Photoshop, but that got me into nowhere. That was just my personal interest. And there is another friend, and he wanted to start something. So he's actually very senior. So I think it might be good to work with him. So he had some events that he wanted to work for a social media building, networking stuff. So I helped him to build that. So I kind of did digital marketing stuff. So I was into all of these. I did designing, I did digital marketing, I did little bit coding, designing HTML, CSS scripts and all. So I never much of completely into one thing. But that is also worked for just 2 years. 2 years I worked well there, because I'm since we are only few members, like only 3 people who are working in that company. Like we started that, but there was we don't get much projects after six months. So we did some events for the digital types of events, and we did some service based projects, like someone wants something app and all. We did the designing and some coding, some stuff. And later I decided like that is also not working for me. I mean, I'm not making much money, and that time I needed money. So again, that is a big shift actually for me. I waited like 1 year to get into again a testing jobs, because I got a lot of gap, right? This industry and all. Like since it was 2014 when I started doing testing job, and then we have like 3-4 years gap. Again, I wanted to do a 9 to 5 job. I never, like, it's a very difficult. And somehow after 1 year I got a job, and still not, like, now I have like 4 years experience in testing completely, like relevant experience. But now I'm kind of feeling the testing field. When I started, I wanted to do automation testing. I wanted to learn coding. And if you have any idea, automation, like, it needs some coding, like scripting coding with the Java, help of Java and Python or .NET something. So I never get a chance to work on it, because whenever I join a company, they wanted to do some immediate testing in the manual way, and they wanted to get it done. They wanted to use the resource, right? They hired me for automation because I work my ass off to prepare interviews for an automation. But when I get into the company, they never get me give a chance to work on it. I was just sick of it. Even now, I'm working with this product based. All companies I worked with is product based. In 4 years, I changed 3 companies. All companies are product based because I like working with a product based company. But it's quite kind of getting bored, and I wanted to learn coding and stuff. But when I'm working with the developers, I get to know that it is kind of difficult. Everyone cannot be good that that good at coding. They were just pretending that they know, and they are just copy pasting some data from Google and GitHub, Stack Overflow. There are some resources, right? Like they can get into. I feel like, okay, I don't think I can be good at that. Now I'm just rethinking how, like, where to go, where to start. Is it good time, or should I continue like this? I'm not sure. It's not that I am good at testing, but I'm not feeling the, sometimes I feel like imposter syndrome. Like I always feel that, like, I don't belong here. Yeah. I always think about this designing stuff, but it's not that easy. I also worked with 3D developers, designers, and you know, uh, pure front end developers and all. So I know how hard it gets. Like when we have, people who work with the designing, so they had this own creativity. When they wanted to put in, like, people won't like it. If you're working for a company, they won't like it. They want what they want. So we have to give them what they want. So I don't know. this is like I'm a little bit confusing in this part, and now I wanted to change in this company right now presently working. In the March it will be over 2 years. So
Mm,
I'm underpaid at the same time. I'm very underpaid. Like it, I wanted to change. Now I'm thinking if I'm if I wanted to change now, I should be pro at automation testing. People like companies won't hire me without knowledge of automation. At least I
mm,
should be fake at my resume that I did automation testing, and I should show them that I know I know these coding stuff, and I should get the a good package and all. I don't think how it will work again, and I don't know
yeah,
how much in how many interviews I have to go on through again and again.
right. So, thank you for sharing that, Shravani. I think I have a full gist of, the challenge you're
Yeah.
facing. You graduated as a computer science student in 2014, and then you worked with a startup, as a tester. And then you joined a couple of startups later on, did all sorts of, digital
Oh,
marketing and event management sort of stuff, something around that,
yeah.
and a little bit of coding, designing also you got interested in,
Yeah.
but never completely got a chance to stay with one domain, so you could probably excel at it. And then you wanted to thought, maybe testing is a good place to be in, maybe I can go
Yeah.
back. So after 3-4 years gap, you went back to testing, but it was not automation, it was manual testing. You wanted to work more on, SQL, Python, and
Yeah.
those tools so you could learn those languages. But that never happened. And now, even though you want to change a job and get it in automation testing, you don't know because you feel like an imposter, which means that you feel you don't belong. It feels that I have I have reached where I am by pretending, and I don't have a real
Yeah.
skill set. So a lot of people, including me in my past, have suffered from that. So that is there, and a lot of confusion around career. Like, should I continue like this? What should I do? Like, which field should I even pick? So I hope that summarizes,
Yeah, it
right?
is actually pretty much.
Quick question, before I share some quick observations around, like what might have gone wrong and how can we correct it. We will reach there in the later part. So you mentioned in last 4 years you have shifted 3 jobs in testing. So you mentioned that you wanted it in automation. So why did you not pick a job which was in automation? It makes sense that, after 3-4 years gap, you took whatever was available. But
Yeah.
then why did you not pursue um, a job which was in automation?
So after staying, working for a couple startups and not paying at all, like I wanted to be in a job that pays. At that time, I never cared that it is automation or it is manual.
Mm-hmm.
After my last company, I started asking to my manager that I wanted to work on automation. Like
Mm-hmm.
from last 3 years, I was completely focused on the even like some people give me some task, I'll put my 100% efforts to make it work, give my 100%. So I completely started working on that. So I asked them that I wanted to work on automation, but it's never gave me the opportunity. Now if I put the in my
Mm-hmm.
resume without automation, it will it's just waste. Manual testing now in the current boom, like it's doesn't have any opportunities. In my in my research, I found that the package is also very low. So
Mm-hmm.
people want, even though the work is manual, people want automation testers. Companies want that talent in their company. So that I understand. So since I don't have hands-on experience, I feel that now if I start looking, I know I won't. I gave 2 interviews 2 weeks ago just to see whether I will, I can get in or not. In the first round itself, they started like the same thing. They started asking me the complete Java coding parts, coding questions and all. For it's literally irrelevant, but still they want that kind of person. So now I'm thinking, if I start learning Java, and I think I can be Java developer rather than a tester. But to become a complete Java developer, it will take so much time to become that level, with my experience. So I don't think I can excel that just in a couple of months or a couple of years. I mean, it will take some time, right? Again, I'll feel like I'm starting from the scratch.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But I started, like, whenever I get time, I like this company recently, I asked my manager, like, very seriously, that at least I should get some access to, I should get some like some links or access so that I can practice on my own. Even though if you don't want me to work, or they're not giving me hours to work, at least I'll practice on my own. So they gave me, I started working on that. I started practicing, but still I feel that it's not enough. Yeah.
Right. So, Shravani, have you ever met someone who has find satisfaction in their career? You mentioned, that was your big question, that after trying my hands at various stuff, and some of the things you just shared, that when you have worked with designers, for example, 3D,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
those people who work with 3D tools, and when you have met developers, you have found that none of this is easy. Have you
Yeah.
ever met someone who has found satisfaction, rather than not thinking about the tough part? Um,
Yeah.
have you met
Yeah.
someone?
Yeah. I
Mhm.
have few friends, like a few, there is one developer I know. My friend,
Mhm.
he's my best friend, and we both started career at the same time in the same company, but we both came, like, goes different ways. He, in the middle, like 4 5 years ago, he started learning Python on his
Mhm.
own. Like, in the first 2 years, he's completely complaining every day to me, that he's calling and he's complaining that they make me do this, they make me do that, like I worked really hard for this code and they don't like it, something like that. But now he's very happy. Like, I can
Mhm.
imagine, like, everything he says, that like the package is awesome, and he's happy. Like, so I'm kind of happy for him.
Right, right. That's a great observation. And, maybe sometimes we need to talk to someone to
Yeah.
make, and sometimes we need to hear some things from someone we feel credible, even though the answers are lying in plain sight for us. So, an essential question is like, how do I find satisfaction in my career? And there are two ways by which people find satisfaction in their career. One is what you just explained, that you pick something you feel that can give you a good career, like this friend of yours picked Python, and आप उसमें घिसाते रहते हैं basically. आप you just keep at it even though the days are challenging, you feel frustrated, you feel मुझे ऐसे projects मिल रहे हैं जिस पे मुझे पता ही नहीं क्या करना है, and I'm just copy pasting stuff, but you keep at it. So 2 साल is what your friend mentioned, that they were giving him projects that he couldn't make sense of, but he kept at it, and now 4 5 years later he's satisfied where he is. He's also paid well, so that brings another level of satisfaction. The other way people find satisfaction in their career is by finding what they love to do. So, some creative fields could be those examples. So, like, people become photographers, or people become illustrators, because, since their early childhoods, they have been good at those. Or, even when they grow up, they feel they are still good at it, and they want to pursue it as a career. And so, it doesn't matter to them if they are underpaid initially, but then they, advance and
Yeah.
reach a point where they are able to churn good money. Now, that is the case with only a very few people. There are
Yeah. It's
only
like,
very few people
yeah.
in the population out there who ever find their passions. Majority of us never do. Majority of us don't know. And the best we can do is try our hands at different fields, which is what you did exactly. Tried your hand at digital marketing. That is a very in thing that a lot of people do these days: SEO, SEM, Google Analytics, and all. and you found that, it did not resonate with you. The
Yeah.
other thing you did was, a little bit of coding, and then what else did you
Designing.
mention? Designing,
Designing.
yes, designing. The designing is an important field because this is also, very much in buzz, like big companies hiring and all. And you found that, it is also not your not the game you want to play. Then events management, etc., more like non-tech sort of fields, and you found that they are also not working. So, Shravani, what do we do in such a situation? When we don't know a passion and we still want to make a good career, we want to get good pay. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think we should choose what we can do. Maybe for now, right now, I can think of like I'm already doing something. I think I can be best at it. As I said that I want to be best at it. I wanted to improve in this. So maybe, yeah, I might wanted to change the job for the pay stuff, paying for a good pay. But I think it will take time again, because I know whenever I wanted to change jobs, it will take easily 2 to 3 months just to prepare for interviews and give it a shot and make a good, get a good company. Because the interview process is very frustrating these days. I told you, right, like the questions they ask and the work I did is completely irrelevant. Like they were expecting much more than I know, and I worked on that. I have a hands-on experience, so that is getting little difficult. That's why maybe I keep rethinking I should change it. Sometimes I keep if I wanted to learn something from the scratch, I rather learn something beneficial for my future, like machine learning or AI, something like that. So anyway, I'm putting my efforts, rather I put my efforts on something better. So
Right.
I
That is a
also keep
very
thinking,
good point. Yeah, go
yeah,
on.
yeah, I sometimes I think that and I only done bachelor's. I haven't done in my like anything PG courses. So I think I keep thinking of this, like I will, at least I'll get something, 1 year master course or any course that I can do in machine learning, so that I can be completely shift my career. But I have some responsibilities I should take care of, that I don't know, so I couldn't handle both at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, that.
Right. So I was just gonna say that there are a lot of questions and a lot of confusion at this point in time because the direction is not clear. So it's also like, should I go ahead with academics? Because what if I get good placement after going to a good college? So that could be one way. Another
Mhm.
could be that you pick a field which is very much in buzz, like machine learning and AI, and I try my hand there. So the thing with picking a field should is not based on what is in buzz, because we
Yeah.
have tried some buzzy fields, right? We have
Yeah.
tried designing, we have tried this thing analytics wala,
Mhm.
and it did not work for us. So the thing to pick and make it your buzz is the thing you have always seen your interest in. So Python or Java mein shuru se sun rahi hu, you mentioned automated testing was something you wanted to do. Even 4 saal maybe you have asked your manager quite a few times to put you on the right projects, and you mentioned you are still looking at a job in that domain. It's just that interviews are
Because it
challenging.
was just my next level of upgrading my career. It's just I will be the same testing path, but it will just
Right.
upgrade my career. So
So that is the thing with all the fields, always.
yeah.
So even for a designer, you learn one tool, or you just probably know how to make rough wireframes as a start, and you get a job, and then you learn one tool, and then you learn another. The career is always an upgradation. It's never, and that's where experience comes in. That's why they call it experience. That means you started from somewhere and you have managed to learn a lot of things on the way and upgrade your career. There is no such thing as ki you join a machine learning course and they offer like 6 months courses, a crash course of 3 months or maybe a year, and you would come out an expert and you would get like a data scientist staff position at Google. So that is never going to happen. So all I am trying to tell you is, when we go through our career journeys, a lot of times we feel we are on the wrong path. We should be somewhere else. We should not be here. Whereas what is happening with you is very much what ideally should happen, that you explored, you found that these fields do not work for you, and then you found that maybe there is nothing out there where I am about which I'm deeply passionate about. So rather I would pick this because I have seen example of success, and maybe that is something I can follow, and I can become. It is also possibility for you to become that person, rather than setting your ambitions on I want to be the next Sundar Pichai, so Google is the only thing where I want to be, and as a product manager. So the goal should be realistic as well, something which
Yeah.
you can achieve. So talking about, going through an interview process, and that is difficult because they ask you questions which are not a match to the work you are doing. So how about we develop some of our own projects which are about, what are they asking in the interview. So if you do not have Python or Java knowledge, how about you start, doing some self projects? There are a lot of projects available on GitHub and such similar communities by which, and I think some of these are open source softwares as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you can start learning them. You can take the help of your friend who is like an expert at it by now, and you can devote 1 hour each day. So by the end of, 2-3 months, when you get an interview call from, from a good company where you want to participate, you would have 1 or 2 projects to showcase in your resume. And you can say
Yeah.
that you can also relook at your projects, the project that you have done in your company from a fresh eye of these tools. And, if they were to be automated, how would you go about them? If you remember my passion answer, which you talked about in the beginning of this call, that is something I did too. I took the projects that I had done in the companies I had worked at and re-looked at them from a qualitative viewpoint. What would they look
Yeah, you
like if
also mentioned that you worked as a like for free also for as a before you get into the job for UX researcher. Yeah, I just
exactly. So for me, it was unpaid. It was
yeah.
completely unpaid, and it was also, a struggle for a few years. So a lot of times we feel there is a short stairway to success, but that just does not exist. So if we feel we have to start from scratch, um, just a second. It says my meeting will end in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the time, I guess we will have to finish it. So anyways, I was saying, we a lot of times we feel that, there is a field out there which
Hmm.
will give us the fanciest job and which will be like a shortcut to success, because there are a lot of people who are doing that and making a ton of money. But we don't know their journeys, right? Maybe they started very early. Maybe their parents were wise to make them start at like 10 years old, and we did not have that privilege. So we have to start from scratch. And it is also shift in perspective that probably you're not starting from scratch. This is something you've been wanting to do since last 4 years, and maybe you have tried your hand here and there, and maybe you are not like at a very beginner level. Maybe you are already somewhere, and once you go back to it, your progress would be faster versus anybody who were to start from
Yeah,
scratch,
I
right?
observed that. Hmm.
You observe that.
Hmm.
So I think maybe we can just accept that interview will be difficult, because
Hmm.
just accepting that makes it a little easier for us कि ठीक है, whatever it is, I'll go through it. ऐसा तो नहीं है
Yeah.
कि you are doing something illegal or something inhuman is
Yeah.
happening to you. It's just a
Yeah.
process. So just I would say, take it as an action item on you that you would dedicate 1 hour each day to learning a, a tool of your choice, which would lend you to the automated testing domain, and start doing some self projects. Take them to learn this tool, and you will find stability in your career only when you feel you
Yeah.
have a good handle on your craft.
I
It will
think
never
so.
come with, हाँ, it will never come with कि मैंने ये 2 कंपनियां बदल ली हैं और अब मेरी सैलरी अच्छी है. It will always come with I feel very confident as a Python developer.
Yeah. Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it is. And actually, is there anything like people, even though if I get selected in a good company because I'm good at it, I always feel that I don't belong. Like I think I'm not good at, even though I know that people are saying that I am doing good, better than anyone. Like the work we were doing in the project, same project, but I still feel that I'm not, maybe I should be more good, like I should be doing better than this. I can do better than this. In my head, this is not what I imagine. Like in my head, it would be so perfect, but the output is
Mm.
like very narrow. Like it's not that great. So is it normal, or is that like I'm the one who just feeling it?
It is normal, everyone feels it, but the real, win lies in getting over it. And the way, I got over it was, one thing is when you really work hard, it gives you confidence. You feel like, I have invested so much time in it that I do know what I'm doing. So one thing is definitely hard work, but the other thing is also thinking that, it is a natural feeling and everyone gets it. And you wouldn't be here wherever you are if you did not know.
Yeah.
The other person can also see through you. So maybe the your interviewers and your colleagues who you work with, if you did not know it, then they would also be you would also be hearing it from them in sort of feedback or whatever. But if you are not hearing it, then what you're doing is probably something you know. So
Okay.
just think of it as, something like a natural thing to feel, but don't take it very seriously that it acts as a roadblock and, it becomes so big in your mind that you have to seek therapy just to get rid of imposter syndrome.
Yeah. No, I just think of it, but I'll do the work. But I can see the people around me that whenever they do the small work, also I feel like wow, they're doing like great. If I do the same, even better than that, I feel like this is just normal. Like this is just a piece of thing that I'll do.
Don't be so
Yeah.
harsh on yourself. Yeah. A lot of times we have to give ourselves credit for, doing what we are doing. And we always want that validation from others that, अगर मैंने कुछ अच्छा किया है और चार लोग बोल दें आके कि wow, this is amazing, you did wonderful, then we feel, so much good about our work, but we do not say it to ourselves ever. So
Yeah.
yeah, so don't do that.
Yeah.
Everyone is thinking differently. So if they were given a task and you are given a task and they would produce a different result and you would produce a different result, that doesn't mean that yours is poorer than theirs. Maybe they
Mhm.
are also thinking the same thing कि यार इसने ये सोचा भी कैसे.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Maybe that might be. Yeah. People think that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I wonder, like, I'm the one who like low on self-confidence. I think I'm underestimating myself. I feel that, but I motivate myself and I promise myself that I don't do it. But in the reality, when actually the things get done, immediately the first thought that comes to my mind that okay, I'm not enough. Like this is shit, and whatever I did was shit. This must be good. This is not how I imagined. Something like that it would come. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to.
A lot of things, yeah, I see. But we are also limited by time. And, maybe if I had to sum it, like, such thoughts continue like for a lifetime. Even at this
Oh,
stage where I
I thought it
am,
will go.
even I feel those, but yeah, like you become acclimatized to them and you also start believing that whatever is popping in my head is not true. So even if I'm telling myself that, I did not do it perfectly, that's okay. I did something, I reached somewhere, and that's fine. So maybe, you just always counter your own thoughts as if you're talking to another person, and that would help you how to deal with these thoughts. It has got nothing to do with you doing something poorly.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
but yeah, to close it out, Shravani, I want to ask you, do you feel that this session was helpful to you in any way?
Yeah, it's very helpful actually. I wanted to discuss these things from very long time to someone. I never got a like you know proper person to discuss these. So exactly, I uh wanted to do something, but I don't know what to do exactly. I wanted to change my job and I wanted to do upgrade my career, but I don't know where to start. So now I think I should start somewhere. Like you said, I think every day 1 hour I should start spending, like working, upgrade my career. I think that's the best thing I can do right now, because changing the career, like I said, I have too many interests. But even if I change one career, like if I go to designing or something, I may feel the same. Again, I may want to more, like I want to come back either testing, or I wanted to go something other thing. Maybe I wanted to be a developer again. So if this process will comes and go, maybe
Yeah.
it won't. It will go back and forth. So like you said, for now I think I'll work on upgrading my career. Yeah,
Yeah, just stick to, one thing that you
one
always
thing.
wanted. Yeah, and um, basically to reach the glamorous part, you always have to go through the shit. So
Yeah.
अगर तुम्हें जाना है उस लेवल पे जहाँ तुम्हारी भी बहुत अच्छी फैंसी सैलरी है और you are with a company you feel happy with, then you have to get your hands dirty for few years. Like literally
Yeah.
जैसे बोलते हैं कि घिसाते रहना पड़ेगा, जैसे कि आपके फ्रेंड ने किया. He's a good example. Talk to him as one of this session and
Yeah.
maybe
I should. I
yeah,
should.
you
Yeah.
should as part of your next steps. So talk to him or her,
Mm.
or and listen to their journey and maybe take some points to follow on your path.
Sure, sure. I also understand that you are passionate about writing, so you wrote one book, right? I recently get to know. I'll definitely buy
You
and
should
read
totally
that.
buy it. I will show it to you right now. It's here. You should totally buy it.
Yeah,
It's very cheap, for 190 rupees
yeah,
only.
192.
So
Yeah, I seen it. The today only I saw that. I'm so sorry. I don't know how I missed this. But I definitely buy. I read books every day, so
totally, you should buy
I
it. It's a
definitely.
one-time read. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this session is about to get over, but thank you, Shravani,
Sure.
so much for showing up and for being
So
very
much.
serious about your career.
Yeah.
And
Thank you so much for this. Yeah.
good luck. All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.